Welcome, friends, to my YouTube channel. Today, we are exploring the fascinating world of emotions so that we can understand why we as humans have this incredible gift. Before we get into the why, let me explain where emotions take place in the brain. The red dot you see here is the amygdala. We have one on each side of the brain, and as you can tell, they are very small, about the size and the shape of an almond, but they are very powerful. The first image is showing you the amygdala from the side of the brain, where the second image is showing you the amygdala from the front. This image is from calacademy.org, where they are briefly talking about a study that was done showing a correlation between the amygdala and a person's social network. I will add the link below for you to read if you're interested. Studies show that those with mood disorders such as depression have overactive amygdalas. Additionally, if you've ever been around a teenager, or if you remember your own teenage years, you know that teens can be very dramatic. They can cry at a drop of a dime, get very angry and upset about different things. You can say something to them one day and they'll be cool. You say the same thing to them another day and they're completely blowing up. And this is because the amygdala is also overactive, and it doesn't calm down until around the age of between 24 and 26, when the brain finishes developing. Now that we've talked about where the emotions take place in the brain, let's discuss some of the reasons why. One of the most important reasons is for survival. We literally would not be able to survive if we did not have emotions. And this is partially because of the emotion of fear. Fear lets us know that we are in danger, or we could potentially be in danger. It helps us to make a quick decision on what to do. So if you think about the last time you were driving and maybe you almost got into a car accident because someone jetted out in front of you, or because you looked down for a quick second and you looked up and the car in front of you was stopping, you didn't have time in that moment to say, all right, the car in front of me is stopping or slowing down and I'm going this many miles an hour. If I slow down now, you didn't have time to think about any of that stuff. Your brain was just like, all right, stop. Your reflexes went, your heart started pumping faster, and it just went into go mode for you so that you didn't have to think about it. Same thing if you think about yourself walking down the street, and let's say you're getting your steps in on a nice breezy afternoon, and then you see a stray dog walking, and let's say it's a pit bull, Rottweiler, one of the types of dogs that a lot of people are scared of. You don't have time to think about, it's a stray dog, you don't have a collar on, looks a little disheveled. I wonder if it's friendly. Your brain is going to sense that you may potentially be in danger, and it's going to say, all right, we're either going to fight the dog or assert our dominance, maybe run towards it, or like I said, if it attacks you, start fighting it. We're going to flight, which means run. We're going to take off running because now the blood is really pumping in our body. That's going to prepare us to actually run. We're going to freeze up and hope that it doesn't notice us because we're freezing up and we don't seem like a threat to it. Or this is too much for us and our body is just going to go limp and faint. But these are all things that the emotions in your brain do for you, so you don't have to think about it. If you didn't have emotions, you wouldn't be able to survive. Another reason is for connection. We as humans need connection. I know it's difficult. I hear all the time the dating pool is trash, but we need connection. And it doesn't have to be romantic connection. It could be connection with friends. It can be connection with people down the street, your neighbors. It can be connection with your family members, but we were not meant to do life alone. So you have to have connections around you. And those emotions are helping you to build the connections. So if you think about like a stranger, you don't really have an emotional connection to them. You may have laughed, or then maybe they said something while y'all in the grocery line, and it was like, oh, that was kind of funny. You do a little chuckle, but you still don't really have a deep connection to them. Now you do have a small connection to them because you shared that emotion of happiness or laughter. But think about the people that you've been through good times, bad times with, where you experience anger, or you experience real joy, or you experience sadness with that person. You've built a connection with that person. And especially those that you feel very safe and secure with, if they hurt you, then you're going to experience a lot of sadness or a lot of anger because you had a secure bond with that person, or you had a strong bond with that person. Another reason why you should not suppress your emotions is because they lead to connections. And those emotions tell you things. So if your significant other or your friend, someone that you're really close to, upsets you, it's telling you that maybe you need to set a boundary. But the emotions is teaching you that you need to have the connection with that person. A third reason we have emotions, which I kind of went over in the last one, is that emotions take us on a self-discovery journey. They give us insight into our needs, our desires, and our values. So let's talk a little bit about it. There are 6 basic emotions: happiness, sadness, anger, fear, disgust, and surprise. And from these 6 emotions, you get a plethora of other words that describe different intensities that you may feel. So for example, happiness, you may feel joy, you may feel contentment or satisfaction. With fear, you may feel afraid. With sadness, you may feel depressed. Anger, you may feel enraged, betrayal. And there are a whole bunch of other words to describe all 6 of those different feelings. And if you're interested, you should look into a feelings wheel. But like I said, we're going to talk about why, or the reason behind each emotion. So the first emotion is happiness. In happiness, you may smile, you may feel just really giddy and laugh and just feel bright and not like you're feeling weighed down. And the reason why you feel happiness is for a connection. It's a reminder of your body. It's a reminder to tell your body that whatever's going on needs to continue to go on. So if you're in a space where you feel safe and you feel secure, then happiness is reminding you that this is a place for you to continue to feel that way, for you to continue to seek out feelings of happiness, feelings of security, feelings of safety. You don't feel happiness if you're not feeling safe or secure, right? And when it comes to anger, anger may be telling you that you need to set a boundary. Anger can come in like burning face, burning ears. I mean, think about what do you feel when you feel angry? You feel like heat on the inside, right? And like I said, it could be telling you that whatever's going on don't need to happen again. Of course, we want to experience homeostasis, which is like a balanced feeling. It's not really up or down. It's just kind of a neutral state. And you want to get back to that neutral state. So anger is telling you that you are feeling down, or I guess you could be feeling up with anger. But like I said, the purpose of anger is to let you know that something has occurred where you are no longer feeling that homeostasis feel, that neutral feeling, and you need to find some way to return back to the anger. But you don't want to suppress anger. You don't want to suppress any of the emotions, because they're gonna, if you bottle it up, it's gonna explode and it's gonna pop out at a time that you don't need it to pop out. And when it comes to sadness, sadness can be shown in crying and just feeling down. You can feel really heavy in your body. And that could be telling you that something's going on, of course. I mean, that may seem obvious, but that's there to tell you that something is happening. And once again, you may need to set a boundary. You may need to remind yourself of what's important, what is going on. But keep in mind that if you feel persistent sadness, that help is available. And if you text or call the number 988, that is the National Suicide Awareness Hotline, if you're ever feeling thoughts of suicide. That's not a part of sadness. That is something that you should take very serious. And if someone has expressed thoughts of suicide to you, then you also need to take that serious. And September is National Suicide Awareness Month, so please join me in September to have open discussion about suicide in the Black community and how we can combat that. We've already kind of talked about why we experience fear. Once again, it's a matter of safety. And I use an example of the bear as well as the dog. If you didn't have the feeling of fear, you would just walk through the woods and, be like, oh, look, it's a bear, and just keep on walking. Or a stray dog that may be dangerous, you may just be like, it's a dog, and just, like I said, just continue on your walk. The reason why we have feelings of disgust is because it is also a reason, it helps with survival as well. If you think about when you've eaten food that you didn't realize was spoiled and it tastes disgusting, you spit it out. That is your body or your emotions, your brain telling you that, hey, don't put that back in your body because it can be deadly or it can make you sick. Maybe not deadly, but some things can actually kill you. But more so because it's not healthy for your body. And then surprise is kind of like fear. Surprise is there to tell you that something's going on and you need to be on alert. So if you've ever been like to a surprise birthday party, you didn't know what was going on and everybody's like, oh, surprise, you may feel feelings of excitement, but you're also feeling like, oh, I didn't know what was going to happen, because your body is like, all right, do we need to fight? Do we need to flight? Do we need to freeze? Or are we going to faint? Then once you realize that there's no threat, you calm down and you can feel that excitement. Did you know that emotions are the fuel behind a lot of artists' artwork? Think about your favorite piece of art. Is it a physical piece of art? Is it poetry? Is it a movie? Is it your own writing? Is it a song? Whatever it is, think about what was the emotion behind it. Was it happiness? Was it sadness? Was it anger or something else? And think about yourself. When you're creating things, what emotions are you feeling? So when you're cooking, for example, because cooking is a form of creativity, when you're cooking just because you're hungry, it's a little bit different than when you're cooking and you're in a good mood and you're listening to some music and you're dancing around the kitchen. Your food probably tastes a little bit better than when you just like, oh, I'm gonna throw this together because I'm really hungry. So emotions is like I said, the fuel behind a lot of creativity. And when you feel emotion and you articulate it or express it in a creative way, then it is one way for you to get some of those emotions out and create something beautiful. So you see, our emotions are a gift, and that is why we cannot suppress them. We cannot get rid of them. We need them in order for survival. That is the reason why we are living beings. It's the reason why animals feel emotions as well. Think about when you come home from work and your dog is greeting you at the door. Your dog is expressing emotions, and emotions are contagious. So if your dog is feeling happy, you may feel happy even though you had a crappy day at work. But we in the Black community oftentimes have difficulty expressing our emotions or knowing how we feel. In one way, and I'll create a video, at some point, to find ways to positively express our emotion. But one good way is through therapy. I'm always encouraging Black people to go to therapy. And I know that it's difficult to find good therapists, and so I'll create another video about that as well. But this is your sign to go to therapy. And remember that emotions are valid. Your emotion is valid. And the emotion itself is not negative. It's the action behind the emotion that's positive or negative. So for example, if someone hurts you and you feel angry, the anger emotion is not negative. It's what you do when you're feeling angry. If you're punching holes in walls, or if you're, throwing stuff and tearing stuff up, then that's not positive, that's negative. Some other ways just off the top of my head that you can positively express your emotions is just doing deep breathing, which slows your heart rate down, helps clear your mind, but also journaling. And I strongly encourage those who are not used to feeling emotions, allowing themselves to feel, not used to really asking questions about what is my emotion trying to tell me, or what's going on in my body, what's going on in my mind, to journal. And that's why I have created some journals, and I will post the link in the description box. If you're interested in purchasing it, you can also just use a piece of paper. But here's a forgiveness journal, gratitude journal, because studies have shown that those who participate in gratitude daily, they tend to be happier in life, overall in life. So here's a gratitude journal. There's also sadness journal for when you're feeling sad, as well as an anger journal. These are small, so you can take them to therapy with you so that you can talk about it with your therapist. You can also pack it in a bag so that if you're going, to see family out of town and that they're gonna upset you, you whip out that anger journal, go into the bathroom and whip out the anger journal and write down. Or if you know that your boss at work or your coworker is gonna upset you can take it to work with you so that you don't have to cuss nobody out. But in them, they have blank pages where you can write, as well as questions that can help get you to think about the emotions. And I really encourage those who are not used to journaling, or those who are not used to, like I said, expressing emotions or feeling emotions, to take a look at these journals and use the questions to help you to bring them from the inside out, because we do not want you to bottle up emotions. And I know that we in the Black community are so used to not being able to feel, for fear of what is somebody going to think of me, or it's going to be taken in the wrong way, or just our family members telling us, men don't cry, boys don't cry, what are you crying for? And those are all toxic sayings that have stopped us from being human, and we are human. So once again, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned a lot and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, make sure that you like this video, send it to a friend, leave a comment, as well as subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a video. If you have a question that you would like for me to address, please use the link in the description box to ask the question. And I want to remind you that emotions are human. We as a community have got to stop suppressing our emotions or feeling like, feeling fearful of what will people think if I'm human or not wanting to experience connection because of our emotions. So that's all for today. Thank you so much once again. I'm Azia, and until